Welcome to the beautiful Yakima Valley. This is Rich Korb at Prosser High School. Today we're going to be taking a look at the transition that takes place from high school into the corporate world as our young people begin to prepare themselves for being the next production individuals, distribution, transportation, and service industry. The services that we offer here at the high school are designed to help young people for the next course of their journey in life. So please join us inside as we take a look at the 4 components that will help young people prepare for the next generation.
Mr. Korb, grab a seat.
Find the seat. You're coming tomorrow, right?
I'm at this.
You got it.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm trying.
Help me out.
Because these people, they're going to be.
Okay. All right.
Oh man, I'm nervous. What's up, Aaron? How you doing, Aaron? What do we need?
All right, you guys got 5 minutes on these questions up here. We've had these before. We covered this yesterday. Shouldn't be a problem. So go ahead and take your time. You got to talk to a friend to get the information. You can do that. You got to look it up in a book. You can do that too. Yep. You guys late. So take your time.
What's it?
Date's always on the screen.
Where's the coffee?
First account.
Be able to.
Okay, we're down. Hey, what? Oh, sorry. Sorry. Great. Okay.
Well, maybe they can bring it up.
Talking to your friends. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. Mark, go ahead, Carl. Take class. Okay, but this doesn't say why you were late. How are you going to change your behavior? What are you going to do to get here on time? Okay, but how could you get to class faster? What would you maybe do to get here faster? Okay, is that what's going on? You're busy with your friends? And that slows you down every time, huh? All right, grab your things, let's get going. Oh, you're late too?
Yes.
Grab a seat, VIP. Guess it right yet?
Yes.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have a question I need to ask you. We've done this before, but I just want to kind of get an idea from you as to how the entry activities are being done in your other classes. So I'm going to do a thumb check. We've done those before. Thumb check. Up means yes, all my classes have an entry activity, some sort of entry, something goes on. Some of them do is sideways. Thumb down says no. None of my other classes do an entry activity. Remember how the rules are. If you do not give me a thumb, I'm going to call on you. You don't want me to do that because it embarrasses people, correct? Yeah. So, let me see which, all of them, some, none. Everybody give me a thumb check. All right. Okay, good. Thank you very much. No, we're doing a lecture today on your X-Bank sheet. So everybody should put down New World Lecture. Make sure your name is on there. X-Bank can be used for your entry quiz scores. Remember, how many do you have to get right to use X-Bank? One right on the entry quiz. Then you can use X-Bank points. X-Bank points are extra points. So you have 3 or 4 categories on this sheet of paper. You're putting down 5 things of interest, 5 questions, 3 things that you are finding that are of cultural significance, and then 1 thing at the very end that tells you that you found most interesting in our lecture today. So anything beyond those points will go towards X bank, and you can use those for increasing your score. And if you're gone for a day, you can use 7 of the points of the 10 to help yourself with your score. So there's a variety of things we can use these X bank points for. So it's to your benefit to write down as much information as you possibly can. If you do have questions as we're going along, feel free to ask questions, because this is not designed to be just a straight lecture, but you might find something you say, hey, tell me more about that, or you're a little more interested in that. Okay, so here we go. This is part 1. The first thing you want to know is we're taking a look at the New World. It wasn't called the United States of America. It wasn't even called America. It was called the New World. And the New World was consisting of nomadic groups of people that had moved here from across the land bridge from the Soviet Union, and which was Asia then, into the North American continent. All right, so make sure you take some good notes on that. I hope you found enough information. I see a lot of people working hard and putting down the kinds of things that they need. And are there any quick questions before we move on? Okay, I'm going to ask you for a quick thumb check. Okay? Thumb check says, I learned some new stuff that I did not know before. That was kind of interesting. Kind of. No, I knew all that before. Now, the people give me a thumb down if you've been in this class before. That doesn't work. Okay, I know you've had this information. But for all those that haven't, give me a thumb check, and remember, if you don't give me a thumb check, I'm going to call on you. So, let's see a thumb check quickly from everybody. Take a look around. I see a lot of thumbs up. Okay, so you know the rule. I don't embarrass anybody. I'm not going to embarrass anybody. But if you do have a question, or you found something of interest you want to share with the class, I'm not going to quiz you on why you think it's interesting. I'm just going to say, yeah, okay. So who's got something? Something interesting. Zach?
The American continent is named after a river.
Okay, there you go. Good. Somebody else, yep. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is a Friday. What's due on Friday? All your schoolwork, okay? Your DPS, your schoolwork, all that stuff. And so on your DPS, what I want you to do right now, just do a second, maybe I'll answer your question, just hang in there. What I want you to do is make sure your name is on there. I want you to make sure that you put down the week ending date. The week ending date, oops, is the, what day is it, the 12th today?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so we're going to back this up here. There you go. So we're going to October 12th right there, 2012. So go ahead and put that down. And then the total for the week is 50 points. Okay, so go ahead and put that down. And then score yourself for this day. I know you've been scoring yourself every day throughout the week. But we do have 3 people that came late today. So you get a 0 for being punctual. There are the 5 categories you need to score. Punctual, it's 1 or it's 0. Being prepared. Did you have a pencil, a pen, a paper, a book? Did you come in and get your supplies? That is going to be a 0 or a 1. And then we're going to go to production. Were you productive today? Were you taking care of the entry quiz when you came in? Were you taking notes from the lecture? That's important that you put that down as well. Then we're going to go from there and you score yourself 0 to 4, how you think you did. Now up here on the board we talked about you either score yourself a 0, a 2, or a 4. If you did half of the entry, if you did half of the lecture notes, it's a 2. If you didn't do any, it's a 0 obviously. And if you did it all, you get a 4. So you score yourself with that. And then your entry quiz. What'd you get on your entry quiz? Today's score. Did you get a 0, a 1 right, 2 right, or 3 right? How many did you get? Just go ahead and do that. Okay? And then on the last piece, when you get to being polite, we're talking about customer service here. You know, were you being polite today? I believe everybody was. And so these 4 things that you are responding to, punctual, prepared, productive, and polite. These are the 4 things that the corporate world is looking for in its young corporate individuals. Whether you're going to go into productive work, you're going to be in transportation, you're going to be in distribution, or you're going to be in the service industry. These are the 4 things they're looking for. And guess what? If you don't do one of these 4 things well, you can be fired from your job. They're looking that you can do these things. And so I hope that you score yourselves accurately. So go ahead and fill that out. And then we'll get that all collected here in just a few minutes. Yep, question.
We enroll an extra on the X-ray.
Good question. Put X-Bank out to the side in the right-hand column if you want X-Bank points to be used for a day that you weren't here. How many points can you use? 7, because every day is worth 10. So you could use 7 because you weren't here for the entry quiz for that day you were gone. So you could use 7 points. That's a C. It's better than getting nothing, right? So put that down. And then if you have an entry quiz score that's 1 or better, you can add points to that as well. So we'll know to use X-Bank points to improve your grade. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason that we do that is because we don't assess you. These questions are not the only thing that you studied yesterday. We covered a lot of information yesterday. And I want you to be able to use that extra learning, that's what the X-Bank stands for, to improve your grade. And you can do that.